Okay, it is 6:31 and it is February the 16th, and I call this meeting to order of the City of Martindale regular city council meeting. And I will do roll call. Mayor Pro Tem Villalobos.
Here.
Council Member Bunker.
Here.
Council Member Shell Allen.
Here.
Thank you. McClab is on his way. Council Member Clinton.
Here.
And I'm Mayor Glaze. If you would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then to the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. And I will read the invocation. Dear gracious Lord, Heavenly Father, we are just so grateful to be here in Martindale, Texas. Lord God, we just thank you for your gift of creation of this beautiful city and of all the inhabitants who live here. Lord God, we just thank you for your gift of salvation. Lord God, we just ask for that you lead us and help us in every decision that we need to make to govern this town. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. So our first thing that we'd like to do is we have a proclamation. February is Black History Month. So I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas Black History Month grew out of the establishment of Negro History Week by Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of the African American Life and History in 1926. It supports the celebration of our diverse society, and whereas this year's theme for Black History Month will focus on the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity, and whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas the City of Martindale continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized. And whereas the City of Martindale is proud to honor the history and contributions of African Americans in our community throughout our state and nation. Now, therefore, in recognition of the contributions of African Americans, past, present, and future within our community, I, Catherine Glaze, Mayor of the City of Martindale, Texas, do hereby recognize the month of February 2022 to be the Black History Month. I did look up a few people that are current, and one of my new heroes is Winsome. How do you pronounce her name? She's the vice governor in Georgia, and she was a Marine. She's really a pretty cool lady. There's one from the past, Mary McLeod Bethune. She is recognized as the first president of the National Council of Negro Women. And throughout her life, Mary was known as a civil rights champion and leader of women. She is in the National Archives for Black Women's History. And it's just fascinating to read about her. She has a lot of accomplishments. One of my favorite authors is Thomas Sowell. He's done some pretty cool books. And then I was very fascinated with Chef Andre because he's pretty cool too. And then this story made me cry. It's Anthony Harris takes a young girl that their family has been fans of his. He's a football player, and they have prayed for him and just kind of had a fan relationship where they've communicated with him throughout the years. And so her father and her grandfather died. And so her mother reached out to him and said, you know, what a hard year she was having. So he not only took her to the father-daughter dance, he bought her dress and shoes and everything. It was really a cool story. If anybody wants to read it, you can read this. So that was just trying to touch on all areas of the cultural and history of Black History Month. So we will move on to public comments. Okay, and we do have a public comment. Oh, two of them. Okay. The first one I had was Thomas Rhodes.
Would you like to have the podium or?
If you want me to move it or
No,
what?
doesn't matter.
Okay. Thomas Rhodes, TKR Commercial Real Estate Services here on behalf of BVRT Utility Holding Company. We presented to the council back in Martindale about wastewater service and providing a new clean facility and working with the city for a franchise or a wholesale agreement. Wanted to give you kind of an update on our work in the region overall. We've completed our franchise agreements with Mustang Ridge for both water and wastewater. We'll be bringing water up to Mustang Ridge as part of a partnership with County Line Sud, Goforth Sud, and Clean REI Utility in Mustang Ridge. Working with GVRA as well on that pipeline project for water. The wastewater plant is under design up in Mustang Ridge and should be operational within the next 18 to 24 months. We are currently working with the city of Niederwald for a franchise agreement to work on the existing rail yard plant that BVRT owns in Niederwald. I'm currently also working with the city of Creedmoor, and we'll be presenting to them tomorrow night on their council meeting, much like we presented to you guys back in November. They already have a copy of the franchise agreement. We've been working through that with them and anticipate moving forward on agreement with them. And then also BVRT has been working with several developers to create and take over their discharge permits and be a regional provider. One of those is Walton Development. I have a past relationship with Walton. I've been working with them for the last 3-4 years. And with that, Walton will be conveying all of their discharge permits to BVRT. And they've also agreed to let BVRT take over processing the discharge permit that Walton has applied for on the Cotton Center mud here in Martindale. So I just wanted to give you guys an update, and we started those negotiations to transfer that permit over, and BVRT will now take over that process for Cotton Center mud and will be the owner and operator of that plant on behalf of the mud once we finalize all the paperwork and agreements.
Wow.
Huh.
So
5521,
absolutely, yes, sir.
is that what was submitted?
That permit is already, that'll be amended the permit. And
That was
submitted. Yes, sir.
submitted to TCEQ.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry for being rude there.
Oh, no problem. Yes, Walton has already submitted that amendment for the 5521. It is in place. What will happen now is they're going to convey the permit to BVRT. BVRT will complete the permit process, and they'll own the permit and will be the service provider for the mud.
You made my day.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, sir. We look forward to working with the city through the process as well.
Thanks for
Okay.
taking care of our river. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and our second public comment is Sonia.
Villalobos.
Hey, real quick, I talked to Lisa. She said she had some kind of doctor's appointment. She said.
It's online.
Oh,
She's online, yeah.
well, I'm late. She's on time. I just
First
better be
to
quiet.
have her.
Come on,
Come
council.
on, man.
Thank you. Okay, so, I guess my time starts now. Sonia Villalobos, I live at 413 Northwest River Road. I'm also on the council, but I'm speaking on behalf of the citizen. Just in an open records request, we still all know about the murder that happened in Martindale, in the neighborhood over there. And in an open records request, there was some alarming information that I found out. So it was a complaint from a citizen. And instead of repeating myself again, I was referred to as the crazy council lady is stirring up trouble in our neighborhood. We do not want this in our neighborhood, and it appears it will be on city property that has no trespassing signs posted. Can you have police and constables present to keep this out of our neighborhood? So this was for a family that was in mourning, that their son, their loved one, their brother was murdered. And I had a prayer vigil, and this vigil was not wanted in that neighborhood. It says on here, it goes on to say that I should be removed from council for using my status as mayor pro tem to organize this. The whole thing is getting blown out of hand before law enforcement can finish their investigation. And the information was sent over to the proper channels within the city. My whole thing is that we just opened up in prayer. And if I'm doing something on behalf of our community that had worldwide attention, I would expect that there should be some type of communication that me, on behalf of the city, that I'm going about it in a respectable manner. If I don't see that on open records request, I have a problem with that. As a citizen, as a person, after I just prayed and how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. So our community experienced a tragedy that affected many and it was worldwide media. It might seem staying silent is one way of avoiding conflicts and unnecessary trauma. But if you are silent, I mean, you just send a wrong signal and it just makes you an enabler. Silence is also a means of communication. This shouldn't discredit the importance of keeping silent. Silence works best in moments of anger or you are unsure of what to say. However, keeping silent in the midst of an injustice only allows injustice to prevail. A voice can always make a difference. People will never acknowledge or recognize your values and desires when you remain quiet. So as individuals, it is imperative to know when to stay silent and when to speak up. Standing in solidarity with those who experience the loss of a loved one gave them a source of hope in a sense that their son, brother, friend, companion, their life had value in our community in which it was taken, where a tragedy took place, and humanity should really be about looking out for each other. Same thing in this neighborhood. I mean, I know that what I said in the open records request may make people feel uncomfortable. And if it does, I'm not going to apologize for that. Not one bit. Because I know in everything that I tried to do that day was for our community to make us seem like we were loving, we care here, we value lives here, and that was it.
Thank you, Sonia. So we'll move on to, I don't really have anything to report. I just wanted to announce the kickoff for the grant is going to be a week from Monday on January 28th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So I would like.
Excuse me, you said January.
Oh, did I say? I did. I wrote down January too. I mean, February 28th. Sorry about that.
The grant of Northwest River Road? or-
Usually I'm ahead of myself,
Yes.
The
behind.
Northwest River Road. grant. Okay.
Yes.
It was taking long. You can't help it.
That's right. So it'll be at 1 PM in the afternoon. And so it's to go over the contract and to just kick it all off. And so we're very
What
excited
is this
about
on
that.
Olmsted?
It's the kickoff for the grant. The
Oh, okay, yeah,
people,
okay.
the Langford people will be here. And we'll go over a few things and just kick off that grant and we'll be off and running.
28 at 1 o'clock.
Yes. So I would like everybody to be here
Uh,
and whoever would like to be here, that would be great.
And I won't be late.
What day is that on?
at one.
It's a month.
It's a Monday. I scheduled it so Jared could come.
This is the biggest thing that hit Martin.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
big.
They'll go over, if citizens come that live on that road, they'll go over the, say, easements and buyout.
Not that day,
If-
not that day.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is going to be a huge process that we'll be working towards for quite some time.
This is like starting the announcement of it and,
Yeah,
okay.
I think we should get big scissors.
and cut a ribbon or something.
Yeah, we need.
Cut up the contract.
You know, if Rob's here, Rob, you gotta think Rob started this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to
Thank you,
make
Mr.
sure.
Denny.
Is he on?
So if council members are interested in attending that kickoff meeting, we'll just let us know. We'll probably publish a potential quorum notice in advance of that meeting, but you'd be welcome to attend.
I would say to definitely do that. I would like to attend.
Yeah, I would too.
Oh, it's big, right?
So
Yeah.
it's a multi-million-dollar grant and the city has to pay how much of a percentage or?
It's not very much.
It's 1%, but in the purpose of the kickoff, we'll get into what are the next steps, what's the project milestones, and who's doing what at what time. And part of that process will be the public outreach, and when we'll host a town hall event, when we're going to issue mailers for the public. The first thing they're going to notice are people out on the road taking surveys. And so they'll be contacted for a right to enter to do the survey work, but that all is not going to happen until after the kickoff meeting. And we're going to go through this with an organized fashion, step by step, with a clear sense of who's doing what and when.
Yeah. And we've already started with the things that we've been doing in the last few meetings with signing stuff. Okay, on to the next topic. I just wanted to remind people there's 2 meetings tomorrow. One, the historic preservation meeting is at 5:30. If anybody's interested in that.
The historic committee?
Yeah, the
Yes.
historic.
At the courtyard here, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's across the
Yeah,
street over
at-
there.
Could you say what
At
what's
5:30.
it about? Or-
Oh, yes, they're
that's-
dealing with 3 different things. They have, John Hahn has something that he wants to add to his. That was a
They're all
suggestion by,
COAs, you don't have to put the-
yeah, Carlton's.
I'll go see it.
Unless they
Okay,
want to
and then the
know.
other one is the San Marcos River Advisory. But I also wanted to let you know
And
that
when
we've created,
is that one?
that was at 1 PM.
On the same day?
Yeah, both tomorrow.
Okay.
We've created a calendar book to book this room. So if the city commissions and places need a place to meet, just call us and we'll book it so that we have you can come and meet in here. Okay. Early voting has started. I'm sure everybody's noticed. And voting day will be March 1st. And that has nothing to do with our city election. Our city election will be February 28th.
No.
Nope,
Oh,
that's the
May.
date to turn in an application if you want to be on the
I thought it
ballot.
was the 18th.
Yeah, it's the 18th.
The 18th.
That's the
February
deadline.
18th,
Okay.
5 o'clock.
There's
That's why I
several-
lost a key, I guess. I'm just really,
It's okay. I was telling everybody it was-
I'm glad y'all are keeping, the election is on March 1st.
No, May.
May.
Oh,
May.
my goodness.
May. May first.
May 1st.
It's always in May.
Girl, we gotta get this calendar.
Okay, May 1st is the election. I I'm just trying to see if you guys are awake.
Oh, we're on it.
They're all on the ballot, so they're speaking up. They know those dates.
I'm a little younger than you. So.
Okay, I did sign the contract with the county.
You're the oldest one.
I know.
I think I am.
Let's see, 1, 2, probably 3.
Yeah. Okay,
We're like fun.
any questions about the election?
We don't need doctors there.
All voting will be here then and not at Three Rivers.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
No, it'll probably be at Three Rivers. We're still working that out with the county. But they have other things to vote on, like for the county, there's going to be some constitutional amendments.
Mhm.
So our election, we're doing it with them. So our election will be also on the ballot. So if you go to vote, and as we stated before, all of precinct 301, all of Martindale is now in precinct 301, both sides of the highway. So if you're on the other side of the highway, you won't have to go to Maxwell anymore. You'll come here.
I'm sorry, Mayor. Yeah,
Pardon me?
that's what I was gonna say. That was
Oh, on the
7th.
7th.
It's not the first. You're
First
correct.
is a Sunday.
You're correct.
Yes.
When he said that, I'm like, I
Well,
thought it was Sunday.
That's what I was, well, actually,
What's on the side?
no, 7th is on a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a bad week.
Tuesday is the 3rd. If it's on a Tuesday, May 3rd, of the calendar.
It's published on our website. If anyone has any questions.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's on a Saturday.
We can go-
City
that's it then.
elections are always on
Thank you,
Saturday.
sir. It is,
May
it is
7th.
May 7th, Saturday.
Yes. Okay.
And then I had one
Okay.
more question about that. So Hobson Ranch and Butterfly has not asked to de-annex? again?
No,
Not yet.
They still
But-
have time?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
they're not going to do it again.
Oh, can't say.
No,
Never know.
I've talked to
It's-
them. They're
it's-
not going to do it again.
It's possible that they might, anybody can, if they follow the procedures required under the law to submit something onto the ballot, getting the signatures and everything else, that they can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the timeline is. We'd have to look into that, but it's highly probable that somebody could do that if they wanted to.
Okay.
But the main thing is this Friday by 5 PM is the deadline to turn in your application to be on the ballot. So that's the
For
main
city
thing.
council.
And I've got that one correct.
Yeah. that was right.
Okay. All right, so we're on to the administrator's report.
Yeah, I just want to briefly update you on the hiring of the chief of police. Tonight, we'll have the opportunity to pick up a packet that has the resumes and other information gathered through the evaluation process to this point of each of the candidates. Bear with us, we had some additional documents come in this afternoon, so we'll hang around after the meeting. We'll make sure we get those to you. And we're scheduled to meet on Friday at 6:30 for the first candidate, Andre Marmolejo. And then we have candidates scheduled for Saturday at 8 o'clock, 11, and at 2. That lineup is looking like it's going to be Tommy Ward, Trinity Graves, and Sullivan Walwin. And then our initial schedule for Sunday is been canceled. One of the candidates has dropped out, and then another candidate had something to come up and they've asked to reschedule for another time. So I'll work with the council members to look at when our next availability is. We want to align that with a possible meeting we might have next Friday. We could do that, on the front end or the back end. There's some things up in the air. So I'll get with each of you via email on what that looks like to get that 5th candidate in. So we're down to 5 finalists at this point.
All Male, or is there a female, or?
So the composition of the finalists that were selected, we had 1 woman of color, 5 men. Of those men, 3 are of color. 2 African American, 1 Hispanic. And so we had a total, out of the 6, it was half of the candidate pool was African American, 1 was Hispanic, and then 2 were white.
And one female.
So good diversity.
And one of those, so it was a very diverse group of finalists. Very pleased with the candidates we have. You will find as you look through the packets this evening that they come highly recommended, and I think you'll be pleased with that.
Thanks for doing the preliminary work of screening these people.
Well, we're getting through it, and then also feel free to take it upon yourselves to dig around on the internet and do your own homework on these candidates. And there might be updates. I'm still working on some responses on reference checks and things. So there might, as we get into the weekend, if there's some updates, I'll be able to hand them to you. But those should only be like a 1 or 2 page item. So.
Jared, and because we are like on a timeline and we're wanting to do these and we're wanting to, get our chief in place with the 2 that can't do the interview at that time. I mean, how much far out are we gonna put this?
On
Only one.
the latest it will go. So 1 dropped out completely. They received a separate offer that frankly the city's not going to be able to match. The other is still very interested. They requested next weekend. If it doesn't happen next weekend, to stay on schedule, we might have to move on. So I also want to be respectful of council members' time, and I'm not trying to take away all your weekends.
I can already tell you next weekend I'll be out of town.
Yeah. So there's
The
there,
next weekend.
Okay.
yeah, there's a potential, might be a meeting request for Friday or Saturday morning. If we do anything on the weekend, it would be first thing in the morning. So that way people can enjoy the rest of their day and not keeping you guys occupied for too long.
And since it's going to be a long day, we will get muffins and juice and coffee for breakfast. Our first interview is at 8 a.m. And then we'll order sandwiches. And I brought this menu from the restaurant next door. So before you leave, if you can write your name down and what sandwich you want on here.
That worked. Yeah, I'll probably just keep them on an advance warning to make sure they get everything
Yeah.
prepped for us. And then the other item, the Director of Building Planning and Development have not made any progress on that since our last brief council. So we've just been tied up with this police chief hiring process, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll get that going. We're working with our IT department on making sure we get a computer resource aligned for that person. So when they do start, that'll be in place and available. And talking with the mayor and some of the staff about seating arrangements and other things we'd have to do around here to accommodate. But other than that, nothing concrete to update on that one.
Have you started accepting applicants yet?
Oh, no, I've received 2 applicants, 2 qualified applicants. I intend to do a post-interview
Okay.
practical exam, if you will, put them through the pace a little bit.
What about the utility clerk or?
So the utility clerk position right now, Carmen Zuniga has offered to stay on through May. So that's really helping us out. And we're making arrangements to possibly use Letty and that capacity, our court clerk, for those other days. So that's, and then also on the heels of that, we'll have a transition with our city clerk, most likely. She's one of the reasons why she's not here today. She's doing some retirement planning. So we're preparing for that as well. A lot of moving and shaking.
Yes.
May is going to be a big month.
Stick with us.
That's right. That's all I have. Subject to any questions.
Okay, so we'll move on to the new business on A. Discussion and possible action to consider and take any necessary action to approve Amendment 1 for the city's local financial policy and procedures for the 2020 Community Development Block Grant. Is it supposed to be 2020
I think that's when the initial announcement
was made?
was made, so that might be why they're using that year, that reference.
Okay, and so they have suggested that we adopt this Amendment 1 so that it aligns with the federal guidelines. And then I
Was that-
hope,
Is that Lakeford?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I went over this with Dwayne, and so he knows what adjustments he'll have to make.
Y'all send it to us.
Yes.
Are we gonna be approving it tonight?
Yes, we would love to do that.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the local financial policy and procedures for the 2022 Community Development Block Grant.
All
I'll
right.
second that.
Lisa, second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Okay, hearing none. Mike, how do you vote?
Yes,
And Sam
Yes.
and Sonia? So the motion carries unanimously. Okay, and then to the next item, Harry was sick and was in the hospital, so we were unable to go to mediation. Counselor, do you have any?
Let's still go in to
Okay.
executive session, because under the second portion, we still have the ability to do that. I think there's some things we can discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we will, I guess you wouldn't say adjourn this part, but we will take a little break and,
We can get Lisa down here if she can make it.
I know she was on the road in. Hey, Lisa, I can send you a
Yeah.
link
Can-
to a new meeting that you can jump in with us.
Okay, great, because I am still on the highway in traffic and I definitely want to be in this executive session, but I'm headed that way.
Okay.
So either, can you text it? That would be best.
Yeah, I can text it. How long do you think?
10 minutes, because it prints some stuff.
No, I'm at least 15 minutes away, at least.
That's fine. I mean, she can patch you.
Yeah, I'll text you
When she gets here, that's fine.
I'll text you the link and the information.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay. So we're gonna
okay, we will take a 10-minute break.
get- okay, and then.
Thanks, everybody. So when, and
The executive session, and we are now back in regular session, and we are ready to,
I don't think anyone's still there. I don't know.
No, they told them to go.
no, Mamie's out there, but that's,
I think there were further people waiting.
no,
and we're,
Amy may still be in the
There were some
office.
people.
Is
No,
she still there?
she
or
went-
she's
no.
here?
But she's the one to talk to someone once here.
Yeah,
after
okay.
the meeting.
Oh.
Well, she can come back in.
Sure, go.
There were two people.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it open to, are you ready for adjournment?
we're ready for adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Well, wait, let's talk about what we're gonna future items. right?
Oh,
Oh, is that on the agenda?
Yeah.
Oh.
number 9, future items. Do you have anything to add to the list?
Well, I mean, I know that the historic committee does seem to have a roster of 5 different things, which is something that they haven't had for a while. But I think we need to remind the committees that they need to have more frequent touch base with the city, because since I am no longer the chairman of the Parks Advisory Committee, it's been many, many months, and things are falling behind, and I'm finding like that I'm having to cover bases and take care of things in regards to the park, which I don't mind, but I think that we should remind these committee, the river committee is good. Joy is good about that, but as you mentioned to me, Craig doesn't report enough on C of As that are given or asked for and given, and we don't know because there has to be a sequence of things that once it's a C of A, then the city gives a permit if it's needed and all that. And I think we can move along better with things that need to be done in the park. Mike and I have talked about things that need to be done in the park, the electricity, clearing. and
So what would
We
the
can-
agenda item be? To provide direction to the advisory boards and councils? and
Yeah, to
committees?
just remind them of the importance of the need of the frequency of meetings, like say once a month or something. I mean, of course, if you don't have anything to report, then you won't.
And we've been doing that, actually.
Well, and it's up to someone who so chooses to speak. You, as the president, are responsible for attending via Zoom and or in person with a monthly report. You're gonna be on the first agenda of the month. If you have nothing to report, then come and say, I have nothing to report. Because the council might have a question about your report that you have
Yeah.
nothing to report on. You just made a comment about how there's a list of COAs that have come down the pipe.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
something hard copy?
This is the historic committee meeting that's coming up, and there's 5
Tomorrow.
different things on there.
Where's that? Is that posted somewhere?
Yeah.
It's on our
The
bulletin.
meeting,
It's under the agendas.
we've started,
And I think that
You
each,
can have this one.
Oh,
they need to tell us when the meetings are, and they need to be a news announcement, and their agenda has to be posted.
we've
So
started
that
putting them
city
on the
has to
website.
know when those meetings are and what's on the agenda.
Because it's not on the
And it-
website?
No, we are putting them.
We are now
Yes.
putting it on the website. Okay, that's better. yes.
Before, they've just been hanging them up.
And we're putting them in the
Lisa,
post office
I would like
also.
a copy of that.
I'll make-
Yes.
And I think I made this, we talked about this before, about combining the two, maybe,
Right.
the two committees.
Which-
Well, they
What-
have a different
We're
perspective
starting an
though.
agenda,
No,
you know.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, so they
So
have a
we need
different
to
perspective.
have a discussion about the committees
Okay.
and,
I just
you
think
know,
I just
review it.
We'll review the ordinance of the
Of the
committees too.
We need an ordinance workshop.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then,
That's
then
what Jared asked for
We
last
already have
meeting.
one.
also there was something.
The rolling review of ordinance. We need
There
to
was-
add the,
Yes, but you have to actually put it on the agenda.
yes, let's add that to our future agendas under rolling review of ordinance. Make
And then I
that-
have one other thing about
Committee
the parks, because there was
ordinances.
something on Facebook recently, which Catherine responded to about a woman asking about a junkie playhouse in the park. And then Catherine tried to print the ordinance on the Facebook page, but it was so small you couldn't see it. It basically says that you can hold an event in Allen Bates Park if it's between the parking lot and the swing set. And if you need to use electricity, you can. I think it says.
I don't remember that.
But it also
That's
says
what I'll
that a rate to rent the park is based on a monetary amount set by the city council.
But I want the Parks Board to review all of that and then come back to us with a
But you gotta make sure they
recommendation.
know what they're reviewing. which is
Yeah,
already in
And
the-
so Susan Swoon and the Parks Department came here, what was it, a week ago or something?
7th.
The 7th. And Adrian and Jared did a review with them
Mhm.
and they're getting on track. And it was
Yeah.
a really good meeting.
Good.
Okay,
Gave them an orientation and Carol Devaney was sworn in and she was
Okay.
here and
Good.
so they had a very
And
good
Anita
meeting.
too, because they said
Yes.
there was only one opening.
No, and Anita was,
Yeah.
Brenda wasn't there.
she wasn't there,
She's
but
not in Mondays.
Who?
There's 2 members appointed.
Oh, okay.
but the city
but there
council
were two.
voted her in.
Yeah.
What would really be nice is if those were posted proper and signed proper, because that one, in my opinion, is not. And it was posted online and there was a Zoom link.
Oh, I sure
And the
would like
staff member
to,
was here and everybody could attend via Zoom if you so chose not to come in person.
Would like to have an email too, saying, hey,
Yeah,
here's the committee meeting.
so when we publish things on our calendar, if you've signed up on our website to get those notifications,
I still am not getting.
I'll work with you
I
on
get,
that.
I get.
Okay,
Well, just, okay, one other quick thing about the park is that we need to talk about it and set a rate that we think is a good rate to rent the park out before summer comes. We need to get
Okay.
our ducks in a row and say, it's $50 for
Let's
50
ask
people or whatever.
Miss Swoon to
That's not
put
a
that on
text
her
and
next
email and-
agenda.
You know, come to my house and knock
Okay.
on my door.
Okay. And then
Did you get the one today with the? Because I did one today. Oh, yeah.
we're falling behind on the dilapidated homes and like the blue
You're getting a
homes
text.
and the debris that is spilling out of the fence of the blue house on the left and has been sitting on city property for weeks now. We have a trailer of their junk that's been sitting on city property. We are not acting on any of these things, and I don't want to wait until
So.
building
what you wanna
administrator person is hired. We've got homes on 1979 that residents are calling it Skid Row and all this. We've got buildings that are bad. We've got boats that
So
are
what do you
sitting
want
on
us
the
to put
street.
on the future agenda? Review.
Start cracking the whip on
Code
these ordinances. I
violations.
don't want to wait until we hire somebody.
Hire so-and-so.
I figure like we're so close to it in order to have some, like, to be able to like launch it in a manner without just like starting to just, you know, we're already trying to hire the chief of police. We're trying to hire that position. I think just to do it right, then we're gonna involve the attorney with doing the letters also.
Mm.
I think that to do it right, we're so close to hiring this person, like maybe another week,
Yeah,
Right.
2 at the most.
maybe
And we
2
gotta
weeks
get
at the
permanent
most.
If
city
it's
clerk.
that close.
We're
We're
getting ready to lose our
talking-
city secretary.
Yeah, we're
Uh-huh.
talking to Versio about getting a computer and where to get
And I
that
don't know,
set
do we
up
have
and
to open up
everything.
that
And our police chief. did.
We've already done. We did in December.
Yes,
Well, if it's that close, then.
Oh, no, the secretary.
I won't
Yeah.
be upset about it. But
Okay.
I-
know we are-
We got that new police chief, and we can get him dialed in.
but I think that, you know, like, I'm pretty sure that we do have it online. If there's a problem, like, as a city, you could just do like a list of, you know,
Issue.
guests that have come in.
But some of those things we can't take immediate action on.
Yeah.
You know, if there's
Where do
over,
those things go?
they get automatically distributed to myself, the mayor, and then depending on the type of complaint or whatever is formed, it's also the chief police and the city secretary.
But there's good news. Last weekend, that group down there at Skulls on the old Conrad property. We had our police chief patrolling and they had their permits and they were, fortunately, they behaved themselves. But our police chief was patrolling for that because they had a big, huge excavator. And an excavator is not used for clearing brush. It's used to move dirt. And they were gonna move dirt on the river bank. But,
They got shut down?
well, no, they didn't do it. They didn't do it.
They just parked.
But people were watching them and it was done properly. The police chief was involved and nothing happened. They behaved themselves. They had their permits to clear brush and that's all they
Okay,
did.
uh,
So that worked.
we need to, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, so do we know what's gonna be on what possible things are gonna be on the agenda then?
Not right now.
Okay, but you.
And if
got
you want
that
something
list.
on the agenda, you can go to her, send her an email, have a documentation of all the buildings that you have a problem with.
I think we
I
can
will
wait a
help you
little
with
bit.
that.
I know that we've all been busy with
Okay.
the chief of police and the hiring,
Right.
so I'll back off for about
Okay.
a couple of weeks.
And we have documents that we need to give y'all today, so you can start studying for all the interviews that we're having this weekend.
Yeah,
So I'd
don't
like to make an
leave
adjournment
without-
so we can hand out those documents.
And Lisa, I need
Do you
you to
mind me
pick it
saying?
one. Oh, you did?
Okay, all right, I'm having, make a motion.
I'll
I made a
second it.
motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Everyone who approves that we adjourn, please say aye.
All right.
Okay, the motion carries.